Introducing Infiltrator from Electronite, the first stealth action game for the Intellivision platform. This video is intended to provide you with an overview of the game. Let's start our journey by exploring the world in which Infiltrator is set. Infiltrator's events happen in an alternate timeline where the natural progression of science and human knowledge has been disrupted. The reason for that disruption was the discovery of an alien crash site during the 80s. Having finally confirmed the presence of intelligent alien life not in a distant planet, but in its own backyard, humanity braces for what might come next. Espionage and cyber warfare are at an all-time high as technology advances at a rapid pace in connection with alien artifact research. No one wants to stay behind. A highly classified aspect of the alien crash site was the fact it contained a damaged invisibility device. That stunning discovery led to the creation by NATO of the confidential and groundbreaking Senusha program. 10 years later, personal cloaking suits for military use became reality. Unfortunately, rogue programs advanced in parallel too, fueled by heavy espionage. As an elite soldier, you are enlisted at a special reconnaissance unit at one of the NATO founding nations. You will have the privilege to field test the most advanced cloaking suit available. The NATO 1002 series suit is a marvel of modern engineering, only made possible after a decade of our brightest minds obsessively studying and reconstructing the original alien invisibility device. The 1002 suit is capable of some astonishing feats, the first one being active camouflage. Active camouflage means your suit is capable of mimicking its surroundings like a chameleon, making visual detection by enemies more difficult. That effect is achieved through extremely complex calculations performed by your suit, which require computational power and time. In order to improve your chances of survival in the field, your suit will aim for a fast and imperfect level of concealment at first. After reaching this so-called Stage 1 camo, the suit will then proceed to improve it a little bit over a few additional seconds. That will take you to the final Stage 2 camo. Note that it is important for you to stand very still while active camo is working. The slightest movement will reset the camo and make you fully visible again, due to the suit having to restart its calculations. The second feat delivered by your state-of-the-art NATO 1002 suit is called invisibility cloaking. Invisibility cloaking provides you with the perfect concealment, guaranteed to be completely undetectable by your enemies. You can move around while using it. Also, it kicks in immediately with no lag involved. Complete invisibility is enabled by the incorporation to your suit of materials from the original alien crash site. Those alien materials exhibit mind-boggling refraction and light-bending properties when properly energized. So, you may be thinking, why do you need active camouflage when you can just stay perfectly invisible all the time? Isn't the latter much more effective? Well, let's look at some trade-offs. You see, both forms of concealment require energy to be consumed. While active camouflage has very low consumption levels, invisibility cloaking's consumption rate is off the charts. It's nothing short of a miracle that scientists were able to implement portable invisibility cloaking as part of a mere suit. Our alien visitors would be proud. By the way, this triumph of portable invisibility has a lot to do with another technological breakthrough called power cells. But let's leave that discussion for another day. Another trade-off between active camouflage and invisibility cloaking has to do with the likelihood of enemy detection. Active camouflage may get you by without spending much energy, if you are willing to incur the risk of detection. If an enemy stares at you long enough, he will eventually detect you. Invisibility cloaking, on the other hand, provides you with absolutely no chance of detection. However, that only happens for a few precious seconds while your suit is sucking a power cell completely dry. After that, it's all gone, and you'll be visible and vulnerable. You see, power cells are very scarce on the battlefield, and you want to conserve them. Therefore, you should try to reserve invisibility cloaking for use during emergencies. Keep in mind your chances of survival will increase significantly if you employ the right concealment technology at the right moment. Infiltrator's combat tactics are one of the highlights of the game, even though you will not fire a single bullet. Concealment options described so far are intended to support physical infiltration into enemy territory, but Infiltrator also allows players to hack into enemy systems. This modality of infiltration is called cyber warfare, and can be carried out with the help of a piece of equipment called a cyberdeck. In Infiltrator, cyber warfare is a high-stakes endeavor, and failure has in-game consequences. However, conducting successful physical and virtual infiltrations will not be your only focus. Infiltrator is a complex combat simulation in which you'll have to interact with many subsystems. Let's look at those. The first subsystem is related to health management. As your character progresses through the game, he will get hurt and stressed. Injuries may lead to bleeding, which is obviously a bad sign when you're trying to keep a low profile. When approaching near-death conditions, your character's body may also become so debilitated and unstable that active camo will stop working. Therefore, it is important to conserve hit points by avoiding combat and applying medkits when needed. On the other hand, medkits are rarely scarce, so there are times when it's better to keep a stiff upper lip and press on. Another critical subsystem is related to risk management. In Infiltrator, due to your advanced military training, you will be able to easily read the combat posture of some types of enemies. They will appear to you in different colors, indicating whether they are confused or aggressive or oblivious to your presence. A change in enemy posture may trigger situational escalation, going from green status to a red alert situation. That will happen if you get spotted, for instance. To de-escalate an alert, you'll have to take deliberate steps to evade enemies, hide somewhere, and let things cool down. Things will not cool down on their own. In Infiltrator, understanding how enemies' field of view works is critical. To assist you in that, when playing at a lower skill level, you'll be equipped with a special device called a risk scanner. The risk scanner will show what areas of the screen are most likely to be visible to the enemies. It's important to note that enemies in Infiltrator are intelligent and will employ different tactics throughout the game. For instance, they will change their patrol routes periodically. They will also behave differently depending on whether they are alone or with backup when encountering you. Therefore, it is important to take your time when entering each screen and study enemy patterns. Infiltrator is a slow-paced game that rewards careful planning. Rushing through it is a sure way to end your career very fast. The third type of subsystem you'll have to operate is related to inventory management. An inventory dashboard is available to show you all the items in your possession. You can equip or unequip them from the screen as well. However, some items can only be used in specific situations, and the game will warn you if that's the case. For instance, you don't want to walk around wearing swim fins if there's no water around, right? That's not very stealthy. Anyway, another element of inventory management implemented by Infiltrator has to do with how items are equipped or carried in your body. There are 4 slots that can be used to equip the items you'll find during the game: head, hand, leg, and dedicated battery slot used only for power cells. Each slot accommodates only 1 item at a time. Slots are not interchangeable. Each item requires a specific slot. For instance, if you want to be able to use an object like a metal detector, your hand slots need to be free. If you're holding a medkit in your hands, you'll have to unequip it first. For your convenience, the game will unequip a competing item for you, and give preference to your most recent selection. Similarly, Infiltrator also incorporates intelligent auto-equipping functionality when you collect a new item. That means the game will try to automatically equip the recently picked up item at the right slot, as long as that slot is free, and as long as the item in question is not conditioned to certain screens or situations. Finally, Infiltrator incorporates many other functionalities. However, for the purposes of this video, we'll stop here. Please consult the manual for detailed information on many other important elements of the game. This concludes today's overview. We hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into the world of Infiltrator from Electronite. Good luck on your mission, soldier.